Hey, Rebel Rouser. I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7. We're at episode number 1754 today, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, I do a lot of interviews on the show, or at least, I certainly like to do a lot of interviews, and we've got a whole bunch of them coming. But every once in a while, I actually get interviewed myself. And so I'm sharing with you today a portion of an interview that I did recently for Viewpoints, which is a syndicated radio program that goes all across Canada. And the deal with it is that it was a long segment, and so I'm going to link to the full segment for you in the show notes for this episode, wherever you happen to catch it, or at home base for the episode at sw7x7.com. And I'm only going to post a little bit of it here, but it talks about parts of the Star Wars Celebration experience that I didn't really cover on Star Wars 7x7. There's a bit about The Mandalorian and a bit about the Clone Wars cartoon series, but also about the vibe of Star Wars Celebration, about what it's like to be there, and especially what it's like to be there in this particular time in Star Wars fandom. So I'm going to take our, normal break a little early this time, and then after the break, we're going to cut right into the interview that was conducted by Todd Heyden of CTV News in Canada with me, your host of Star Wars 7x7, Alan Voivod, about various Star Wars-related topics coming out of Celebration Chicago. And I will say it now for you as well. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be. And stay tuned after the break for the interview. Hey there. If you're enjoying all the coverage that I'm bringing you from Star Wars Celebration and what I do every single day for you at Star Wars 7x7, I hope you'll consider putting something in the tip jar at patreon.com/SW7x7. $1, $3.27, $5.01 or more. Honestly, every little bit helps, and every little bit is just as exciting as every other little bit. Please consider supporting me in the work of delivering Star Wars stories and interviews to you on a daily basis at patreon.com/SW7x7.
Excited about this show, The Mandalorian, because I was a big fan of Rogue One, that standalone film. I like the sort of gritty, edgy part of Star Wars. I like it when it's not pretty. And so, this show, The Mandalorian, as you're saying, takes place on the fringes, a lot of unsavory characters, a Wild West feel to it. The universe is kind of in a very unsteady place as well. And some pretty big names in this as well, in terms of some of the actors that are going to be a part of this, including Nick Nolte. That's pretty big.
Oh, absolutely. Although nothing was revealed about Nick Nolte's character at this event, but Carl Weathers is also in the show, and he was actually a guest there, and they revealed that he is serving as the leader of an unofficial guild of bounty hunters, and he's essentially trying to keep all of these bounty hunters fed and clothed and help them be able to get along by collecting all the sorts of jobs that need bounty hunters or require bounty hunters and parceling them out amongst people, among whom The Mandalorian is one of them. And Werner Herzog is also part of this, the director who also occasionally does acting gigs from time to time, and he is playing some sort of imperial dignitary who is in hiding and is trying to acquire some sort of mysterious asset, either alive or for a lesser fee dead with proof of termination. And so that is probably going to form the backbone of the events in this series.
Yeah, which comes out on the 12th of November, 2019, so November of this year, and will really be, a gem in this whole Disney Plus streaming service, as they offer, a live-action Star Wars show that they're spending a lot of money on. I mean, the budgets are just unbelievable how much money they're spent. One other thing, too, there's also new information about that classic Star Wars cartoon, The Clone Wars, which we all thought was done after 6 seasons, but they're actually doing another season at least. With those original Clone Wars characters. Very interesting.
That's exactly right, and it will also release on November 12th when the Disney Plus service launches. And the creator of that series, Dave Filoni, has often said that he felt like he never got to finish the series, that, with the cancellation of Cartoon Network, they were able to bring some additional episodes to Netflix that served as a season 6, but that he really never got to complete the stories that he wanted to tell. So there will be 12 episodes of this that are released on the Disney Plus service, and these are the episodes that will supposedly complete the storytelling and actually will lead directly into the events of Revenge of the Sith, because that cartoon takes place in between the movie Attack of the Clones and the movie Revenge of the Sith that came out in 2002 and 2005, respectively.
What was it like, Alan, to be at that Star Wars celebration in Chicago? You're there with all these other fans. You're getting all this information firsthand about, how this universe you've loved for so long is expanding into television, more cartoons, more movies coming. There must have been a real vibe in the air.
There was, absolutely, and it's an incredibly positive vibe. And I've seen a lot of commentary after the fact about how this event almost serves as a repudiation to the notion that the fandom is divided. And when you're at an event like this, it really doesn't feel that way at all. Even when you come across people who have differences of opinions about things, or think that maybe one movie wasn't necessarily their favorite as compared to another, the fact that you can still have respectful and non-charged discussions about these things, you kind of forget that it's possible. But when you're in an event like this, everybody is so happy to be there. Everybody has a built-in family for all intents and purposes, and everybody is there just to enjoy and celebrate this incredible modern mythology that's been created and propagated over the course of 4 decades. So, yeah, the vibe is absolutely overwhelmingly positive and joyful.
Alan, wonderful to have you back with us on Viewpoints to share yours on the latest from the world of Star Wars. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back.
Alan Voivod, my guest. He was joining us from Guilford, New Hampshire. He is the host of the Star Wars 7x7 podcast. Check it out online, sw7x7.com, sw7x7.com. It is the world's only daily podcast all about Star Wars. You're listening to Viewpoints. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This podcast is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other related Star Wars items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2019 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.